Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to Work Trends with Meghan M. Biro. Whether you're here to network, learn, or share, we want you to have fun. During this live broadcast and Twitter chat, we'll discuss the future of work with smart and entertaining guests who value today's business and its impact on the world of work for the future. Stay tuned, because we start in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Happy December. Happy holidays to all of you. This is going to be our final Work Trends event for the year. We've got a terrific show lined up today. Welcome to another informative Work Trends live podcast and Twitter chat. I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank my friends. I want to thank you, the community, for showing up every week and doing everything that you do. I want to say gratitude to all of you. You mean the world to me. So listen, happy December. This is, we finally here in Cambridge we have winter. Sun's out today. We got a glorious day. I'm looking forward to the holidays. I'll be up in Vermont for Christmas for a couple days, doing some skiing and getting away for a little bit. But I'm an entrepreneur, as many of you know, so I'm also going to be like heads down working, planning out, getting geared up for 2017. It's going to be a mix. Hey, if you're not already following me over on Instagram, do it, and I'll follow you back. How's that? So listen, today's topic is sizzling hot and very timely, given the fact that the holidays are here among us. Today, we're very fortunate to have Elisabeth Vezzani, the CEO of Sugarwish, here with us to discuss the value of showing gratitude and giving back. She's an expert on the topic of corporate gifting, and she's going to be sharing some tips and ideas today on how any company of any size can incorporate a program of this nature into their culture. Previous to co-founding Sugarwish in 2012, Elisabeth was Vice President of Business Development at Razor Technical Staffing based in Denver, Colorado. Razor Technical Staffing has been named one of the fastest-growing Colorado companies and remains one of the top staffing companies in Colorado today. While working in technical staffing, she noticed a gap in the corporate gift market, and she created Sugarwish, which I love that name, by the way. So awesome.
Thank you.
It's a startup that brings a revolutionary and sweet approach to gifting. Welcome, Elisabeth. Really happy to have you with us today. And let's get this candy train started. I'm a big fan of candy, by the way. That's part of the reason why you're here. You know that, right? I'm a candy person.
Good to know.
Candy fiend.
Candy girl.
So
yes, fantastic.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about your background and what led you as an entrepreneur to start your company, Sugarwish. Tell us more.
Yeah, so I was doing business development and sending gifts for the holidays, sending gifts to my team, sending on birthdays, and just other times I wanted to recognize or thank someone. And I just was bored with the options that were available. How many gift baskets could I send? How many coffees could I send? I felt nothing made me stand out or provide kind of a fun experience for the person receiving it. They just weren't clever. Granted, I like Starbucks as much as the next person, but when I was gifting it, there was stand out knowing that they probably received 10 others as well. So I really wanted to find something. I was really just out of need. I was looking for something that, I was always searching on Etsy or just something that would be different and something that's customizable and fun. And I found different things from time to time, but then they always had, a couple things missing that I was looking for, like ease of sending, not needing the person's address, allowing them to get what they want. If you pick cookies and I send you oatmeal raisin and you hate oatmeal raisin, then it's a waste for both of us.
And by the way, I absolutely despise. I'm one of those people. Despise oatmeal raisin cookies. Like, it's good to know that, right?
Right. there's that quote, something about like I have my trust issues stem from the raisins and oatmeal cookies. Like you felt they were chocolate chip cookies and you were duped at a young age.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not an oatmeal raisin girl myself, and we'd often in the office receive gift baskets or things, and we'd find we were throwing a lot away, and they just weren't doing what they were intended to do. They weren't like providing. It just becomes like, oh, there's another basket, put it over there, put it in the workroom, blah, blah, blah. Right. Yep. So I was actually at a soccer game, and I was complaining about this. It was my son's soccer game. I was on the sidelines like, oh, my God, I've got 100 things to give people. I don't know where to go. I need something clever. And I had really an acquaintance, Leslie, who now is my partner, and she had a son on the team, and she happened to be telling a story about she worked in New York City. She used to go down at lunch, and there were candy stores all over, and really they would just go down for the fun of picking candy. And it wasn't even so much about the candy, but they had the choices. It was a little reprieve in their day. It's just fun to go into a candy store. So anyway, we kind of thought, hey, what if you could provide that experience for people at their desks? So you send, a Sugarwish, and then there's a button that a link brings them to a virtual candy store. They have an interactive, fun experience of feeling like a kid in a candy store, and blah, blah, blah. We worked on it for a year and launched it, and so goes the story, and here we are today. So
congratulations, by the way. I give you so much credit and your business partner. I'm a client, by the way, everybody, a happy client of Sugarwish. I also give the Sugarwishes out to people I know and love. Hint, hint. You never know. If you're being nice to me, maybe you'll open up your browser and see something special in there. But I agree. A lot of sales and gifting specifically comes back to being empathetic. That's what I'm really hearing in this discussion. This is about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? And saying, what's going to make
that's what
somebody
we always
happy?
say. Like, you don't want to get it wrong. The whole point of gifting is to send a little happiness. You're not going to get them a cashmere sweater. Your point is to thank them, to recognize them and spread a little happiness. And that's our whole thing. We just want to provide an experience, send a little happy feeling in the middle of the day, and really, add to your message whatever you're saying. If it's thank you or good job, you deserve candies, one of our most popular cards that people send, because it's just, you just saying you deserve something good. You deserve a little something happy. And happiness, frankly, I don't know about anybody else out there, but I feel like we need a little more of it, don't we all? Post-election, there's a lot of, looking at the global situation we have right now, I think we're all about due for some happiness. So I'm all about it. Hey, listen, I agree. I think that's why social media is so popular, too. Like, we just want a little rest in our day. We want to look at pretty pictures. We like to be on Instagram and just see people sharing happy things. Yeah.
Why not? And we've become more visual in terms of how we're telling stories, right? So it's timely, it's hip, it's happening, it's now. I have to tell you, I read an article about how employees specifically react to corporate gratitude programs. I get kind of geeky about this, as we all know, right? 75% believe that merchandise is far more desirable than cash gifts, by the way. Have you uncovered something similar with your clients' feedback, Elisabeth?
We have. I mean, with a Sugarwish, you are able to, you send an e-card and you personalize it. So there's a message there, and then they receive their Sugarwish a couple days later. So there's an interactive experience. There's a couple touch points. They get your message of thanks that day, and then they get it again in a couple days. So we've had clients, for example, we have one, they're called Sway Group, and they represent bloggers and influencers, and they were looking for something to not only send a thank you, but engage their community. And they let us know that Sugarwish was the perfect vehicle for saying thank you, and then engaging and giving virtual kudos. So it's a little bit of both. We find that people, a card is nice, an email is nice, and then just a little something to back it up with that really makes people feel like, oh, yes, that's wonderful. So we find that all the time.
I think it really, on the note of making people feel good, I think everybody likes to be acknowledged as a human. That's part of being human and being a person, right? But also for a job well done. How can organizations like Sugarwish, like yours, appeal to brands to help them understand the value in gifting as it relates to ... I'm going to say it. I'm going to dare say it to this audience, engagement. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's the big buzzword right now, building a culture, making, and it's not just about production, it's how your employees feel, how you're, what you're putting out there, how happy everyone is. Glassdoor did a study and found that 80% of employees are motivated to work harder when their boss shows them appreciation at their work. And it's time and time again, everyone knows that plain and simple, when employees feel appreciated, they work harder. There was a cute study. It was done that employees were sent an email. 1/3 of the employees were sent an email saying if they upped their sales goals that they would get pizza at the end of the week. And another said nothing. And then another said they'd be given $30. And in that study, they found that the pizza was the bigger motivator and over money. And I do think we all know that people want to feel engaged. They want to go with other employees. They want to talk back and forth. They want to go to an event. This is their life. We spend the majority of our life at work, and we want to feel good about it.
Well, and let's be honest here, and I wrote about this in my recent Forbes article. If you ignore recognition, watch that exit ramp. That's my warning for leaders, for brands out there. I've been talking about this for quite some time. The surprise here to me is that why is the C-suite not more involved in all this, right? Companies need to be strategic, right? And that's what I love so much about bringing you onto this conversation today and looking forward to 2017 and saying, how can we stop ignoring the fact that recognition is an absolute, it's a business imperative, it's a culture imperative, it's not a buzzword. Making people feel important and recognized matters, right?
All right. And I have to daily learn that myself. I mean, you can get caught in the minutia and the craziness of a startup, constantly like, I have to take care of the next thing and the next thing. And really, I have to stop and think, as a manager, one of your most important responsibilities is making your employees feel truly valued, letting them know that without them, your company, whatever, your department, that you would be worse off without them. That is one of, and it's hard, and you have to stop and remind yourself that that's one of your main responsibilities as a leader, as a manager, as a company. But it's tough to take that time and prioritize that when your list is very long. And so it's really just taking a breath.
Yeah, but you know what?
Like,
you know what? I'm a little frankly tired of people making excuses around this. I think even sometimes the smallest token of appreciation can have a big impact on people and culture, right? And I'm kind of tired of people saying I'm too busy for it, to be frank, right?
I totally
gifting
agree.
program. I know
hear
I'm
myself
preaching
saying
to the
and I have to
choir,
do
right?
a wake-up call.
Right. Right. Like, we're not too busy, actually. We're not too busy.
Right.
We can take 20 minutes out of our day to actually do something nice for somebody else, right? Gifting programs, I've done some research on this, enough to be dangerous at least. They can actually reduce turnover and encourage better collaboration. And I have a little theory about this, and I mean this in a very positive way. I believe that when people know their work is being observed by leadership and maybe even their peers, they're going to kind of step up and bring their A game maybe, right? In my mind, I think it's a culture win for everybody. That's my opinion. It may not be yours. I mean, what do you think about that? The fact that, we are kind of watching each other on this front.
Right. There's the whole thing that whatever you track grows. So just tracking it and recognizing it, and when it grows even a little, recognizing that you noticed that they put in a couple extra hours, that you noticed their numbers went up, just that everybody knows, hey, it is being observed in a positive way. Sometimes it's in a negative way, but people know that what they're doing matters either way. And I think that counts for a lot.
Absolutely.
Right.
You actually sent me I think little things count. I think everyone's watching, whether you think they're watching or not. They probably are. Always, always kind of move towards that direction of there probably are, just to be on the safe side, right? You actually sent me a very interesting article that I made time to read. Can you believe it?
That's good.
Yeah, I know. That discussed a study around incentive programs. And in this article, the researchers discovered that companies spend around you have your seatbelt on? $90 billion annually for non-cash programs. $90 billion annually for non-cash. Do you see this dollar amount going up or down over the next 10 years, and why? I want to get your take on that.
Well, definitely up, because it works. I mean, that's why that dollar amount is so crazy, because 84% of businesses use non-cash incentive awards, and they see the results. People stay longer, work harder, are just happier. And who doesn't want to work in a happier place? We all do. Again, back to spending our whole life in that place, I think that people themselves have received non-cash incentives and know how that makes them feel. It's too easy for the cash incentives, even though, of course, we all want that and why we're working, but it gets lost in your paycheck. It feels just like your salary, where a little weekend here, a little token, a little candygram, flowers, something that makes you feel special, just stands out in your memory, and you remember it, and it makes you feel part of the team and makes you feel special. So I only see that number going up. Companies are trying to find ways to stand out from other companies. Employment, people want to be where they're recognized, and companies are trying to find ways to stand out as maybe say like a best places to work. Come to us versus another company. And I think non-cash incentives are what companies find work and offer to help recruit and retain employees.
Well,
so I say up, as long as the economy stays.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be that case, but I wanted to get your take on it. And honestly, I was a little surprised around the $90 billion number, but wow. Do you have a market out there, huh?
Well, that's actually when we're a startup, so we researched the market, and honestly, we didn't right in the beginning. And then when we started to look into it, we're like, oh, wow, this is a giant marketplace, and how can we do it better than what people are doing out there already? And so we created a corporate platform because we saw not only is there such a big market, just so much need for improvement that things have been done the same way for so long, mugs with corporate logos, and, of course, everybody has that, and T-shirts, and those are fantastic too, but there also is a need for a little shaking up and doing things a little different.
Absolutely. Well, you co-founded Sugarwish in 2012, and as an entrepreneur, I know that you've probably seen your ups and downs. Really. I mean, every startup has them. That's just the name of the game. That's just how it rolls. Tell us about and I'm going to focus today on the success stories. Tell us about a few success stories you've experienced with a client or two. Tell us about that process for the audience.
Yeah, well, we've had one company that has been using us, or FormStack, and they've been using us to for years now, send their employees Sugarwish on their birthday. And we have seen, and it's just to our delight, that the employees enjoy getting it every year. They look forward to it. They tweet their sugar wishes, thanking the company. You know, we find that that's just a fun thing. They represent their brand by telling others, this is my sugar wish. You know, and on our end, it's so fun to see. And it's really been one of the benefits of Sugarwish that I did not anticipate, that we're just so lucky because everything we get to see is the good in people, in employees, in companies, and just how happy they are, how thankful. We get to see companies thanking their employees for a good job, for wishing them a happy birthday, recognizing their anniversaries. And then with Sugarwish, the person receiving it writes a thank you note after they've made their selections, and it goes back to the person who sent it in the first place. So there's back and forth, and it's just a very happy, there's nothing but good. So we get to see happy on all sides. And that has just been wonderful and heartwarming when you are crazed and busy, and then you just see so much good in companies and employees, and really that you see the intent in most people is good. And that's been a really fun success story on our end.
Well, and
so
here's
that's
the
fun.
Interesting thing. You're not actually asking these employees to do that either. These were natural behaviors that unfolded, right?
Well, yes. You just, there's there's nothing from the company saying, please spread out on social media. But you do find when you recognize your employees, then they become brand ambassadors out there in the social media. Everybody has their accounts, and they want to share it with that. They're proud of where they work and the type of company they work for, and they want to represent. So I think people are looking for reasons to share happy things. And if you give them one, they are sharing it. So
it makes it easy, right? I mean, that's one of the things I like personally about Sugarwish is that it's just so easy to use, right? All I do is send a link to somebody. They get to select the candy or nuts, by the way. We do have a nuts selection there.
There's a whole savory selection.
Yep, love the savory, which is fun and exciting. And the feedback that I've received, and I've also seen this, Elisabeth, is really positive. And I never asked one soul to go off into Instagram or tweet, and you'd be surprised. I was like, oh, my God, this is so much fun. Like, I was actually having fun with that audience that I gave that to, and they were just doing that naturally. So I saw the same exact thing. To me, that's a win. To me, anytime that you can have a program that, whether it's an employee engagement program, right, or whatever, where people are doing things naturally, it's coming from their heart, you feel that and you see that, right? And that's right. That's a super happy thing. That's called success. So in my opinion, I think what you guys are doing is absolutely right on. I think there's so many boring, like, old concepts out there of giving. And not only that, they're not personalized. And I think when you don't personalize, especially this day and age, people feel it. It's like, oh, I was on that list. Okay. That person isn't really recognizing anything unique about maybe our relationship, right? I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Right, and making it personal and making it fun. I mean, there's the fun quotation, too. Like, they want a little fun in their day, like we've discussed. And what I found just being out there and being with Sugarwish is that people like to talk about fun things, so they do. If you ask someone what their favorite candy is, they will let you know, and they'll also give you their opinion on black licorice and whether they hate it or love it. I mean, the conversations go. It's very easy to any small talk to talk about candy or other things that are fun that people want to talk about. So whether it's Sugarwish or something else, I would just recommend keeping it fun, keeping it light. That's the whole point of what you're trying to accomplish is a little happiness, a little fun, a little something other than their work day in and day out, a little break in their day. So that's
so much fun.
Something,
and I mean,
that we found has been a recipe for success.
And on the same
just
note,
giving something outside the box.
Absolutely. And we know that gratitude can create good feelings, cheerful memories, better self-esteem, feelings of being more relaxed, right, and more optimistic by both the giver and the getter, by the way. Let's not forget it. It's a two-way street here, if you will. This seems obvious to me, but I know there's companies who don't acknowledge this, right? How can this be presented in dollars and cents to show them the benefits to the bottom line? How do you make the business case, Elisabeth?
Well, I do think you make the case that as a manager, that's part of your role. Your part of your role is to help retain the employees, help make them feel engaged and want to work harder, stay with the company. And truly that you feel when you're going to leadership as a manager that you want to add that into your daily, part of your job, is letting the leadership know how important you feel it is to incorporate, because you feel that is one of your responsibilities as a manager. I think you can find statistics that back you up on the $90 billion market and the 84% of businesses that use it. I think, you can find there, I think I had already said it, but you go in with the stat that 46 of employees feel more appreciated if they're given something unexpected. Numbers work for leadership, and they can't argue with results. So the more you can give them results based off trying it out once, the more you're going to be able to convince them to do it more often.
There's one thing about showing gratitude and gifting that really resonates with me. I think it shows sincerity, and I think it shows true appreciation by the employer. Now, these are intangible feelings, right? But as we all know, these are the types of feelings that can actually reinforce or, on the other side of it, break relations with employees, right? Things may not always go so well. So is there a way for employees to appeal to leaders about implementing a gifting program and how they should go about it? I mean, what would you say to people out there who would love to actually have this kind of culture in their company? How can they do that?
Well, we found personally, and this is just, often when we have talked to a company, they say, well, can I send one to my leadership? And that usually works. I mean, saying, okay, for us, this is just definite example just representing Sugarwish, but we often say, send a Sugarwish to your leaderships. Let them see what it feels like and see how it works. And then there's a very good chance they're going to want to incorporate that and share the way they felt and do it to others, with their team.
Love it.
For us, one way that not only the numbers and giving them and kind of showing the proof is in the pudding, but also letting them experience it, we have found to be very effective.
Very cool. Well, listen, time flies when you're having fun and you're talking candy and sweetness, right?
Right.
So
as I said, candy is fun to talk about.
Joining us today, Elisabeth, and tell us what kind of plans you have for Sugarwish in 2017 before we wrap up.
Well, we really more choices. We want to continue to give companies more choices when they're sending Sugarwishes. If anyone ever wants to see something that we don't have, we definitely want to hear about it. And we're continuing to grow our corporate platform and making it easy for companies to see what's been sent, to see who's picked, to see their thank yous all in one place, and really put our money where our mouth is and kind of make sure it's fun to gift as well as receive.
And gifting is fun, as are you and the whole team at Sugarwish. I want to thank you. I want to wish you happy holidays and a happy 2017. And we're going to take this conversation and continue to kind of talk about the value of giving gratitude inside the workplace and hopefully outside of it as well. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And We will see you back here for Work Trends, the first of the year, with a very exciting guest. You'll find out more about it soon. Thanks, Elisabeth.
Thank you, Megan. Bye-bye.